How's it going, guys? Oh, you just jumped out of your seat as soon as I started talking. Ah! Guys, we're about to get started with our first podcast, our first real live broadcast podcast here at FanExpo. It's going to be tons of fun. This is the room. We're going to be doing live podcast recordings and broadcasts all weekend long. So tell a friend, this is going to be a whole lot of fun. You get to see how the sausage is made in a real live broadcast. We're going to kick things off in just a couple minutes. So is everybody excited? Everybody ready to go? That is the stars of the show right here in the front so they can hear you. All right, kick this off in just a sec.
This is going to be like a panel show that we're doing, and it's going to require audience applause, and there's no applause sign, so I'm just going to say applause, and you guys bust into mad applause. Let's give it a try. We're about to start. Applause!
Oh, wow. Should we applaud? No, we don't applaud.
You don't applaud?
Just
okay.
them, yeah.
No, you can applaud if you want.
I'm like Pavlov's dog. When I hear that word, I have to applaud.
Yeah. It sounds so genuine. That's what I like about it.
Yeah. That's it. But you know what? That's how good an audience this is.
It's a quality audience.
They're selling indifference as rapturous applause.
That's not an easy
applause!
sell. Yeah!
Yes! Woo!
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Correct Me If I'm Wrong Applause!
Is that going to edit? Are you going to edit that bit?
Yes, yeah, we're going to take out all the applauses in post.
Post, yeah.
Yeah.
All those cues.
This is the complete ripoff of BBC's Just a Minute, where panelists must speak on a given subject for 60 seconds without hesitation, repetition, or deviation from the topic, with the added challenge that everything they say must be factually correct. I'm Paul Bates. I'm the host of the Sonar Network's podcast, The Dubious Book of Famous Deeds. It's a fun history podcast. They've all been guests. Check it out online. And we are live at the gorgeous room 714B at FanExpo Canada. Applause!
Yeah!
Oh my gosh! Wow.
You know, as a child, I dreamt of 714B. It was my goal. I wanted to make it.
That's
here.
when you know you've made it.
Yeah, it's like Carnegie Hall. Yeah.
Oh, there's a lot of history in 714B.
Oh, man, you
Yeah.
can smell it.
Years ago, I played 714A, and I was like, someday, man, I'm going to make it to B.
Practice, baby, practice.
And I'm here, baby!
That's right.
Woo!
Ladies and gentlemen, let's meet our panelists. Okay, starting over there, he is the star of the cult classic Comedy Network supernatural investigation show, The Fifth Quadrant.
Applause?
Lee Smart.
Yeah!
Yes. To his right is a man who has been in countless Canadian television commercials, making him easily the biggest sellout in this convention.
Yeah.
It's Alastair Forbes.
Forbes, applause.
That seemed less positive than Lee's introduction. That was great. Yeah, that's true. It's
Don't
all
worry,
true,
we're
though.
going to get very positive again now. Because to my immediate left, she is one of the stars of Baroness Von Sketch Show and Run the Burbs. Welcome, Aurora Browne.
Aurora Browne.
Amazingly, I still have not made as much money as Alastair.
Yeah.
I'm a huge sellout.
Hand over fist.
That's Canadian show business, baby.
Yeah.
All right, let's go over the rules. I'm going to give a panelist a word or phrase to speak on for 60 seconds. At any point, other panelists may challenge the speaker if they think the speaker has repeated themselves, hesitated, or deviated from the subject, or has said something objectively wrong. If the challenge is correct, the challenger will pick up the topic and continue speaking on it for however much time is left on the clock. Correct challenges earn you a point. So does being the one speaking when the 60 seconds are up. I just remembered I forgot a pen and pencil or paper, so who knows who's going to win?
Does anyone have a pad, a pen?
It's
No.
2022.
I know.
It's
true.
714B.
Oh, look, we have a
Oh,
volunteer. Maybe somebody has.
Yes.
Yeah, if you could.
If you could, please.
Find it in your heart to donate a piece of paper and
That'd
a
be
pencil
wonderful.
to this show.
Thank
yes.
you.
What's-
Excellent.
What is your name? Megan.
Megan.
Applause.
Let's hear it for Megan. Thank you, Megan.
So, a point for a correct challenge, a point for being the one speaking when the 60 seconds are up. And remember, you can repeat the words in the subject or phrase, I give you. And I guess you can also repeat things like but and the, things like that.
Okay,
All right.
okay.
Makes sense, right?
Folks, our timekeeper is Mariana from the Sonar Network. Applause!
Yes.
And as always, the judge and final arbiter of all factual challenges is my Google Assistant. Hey, Google, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right. Thanks for asking. I hope you're safe and feeling well.
So
Wow.
nice.
nice.
So nice.
And
Okay.
that delay is great for show business.
It is.
It's
Yes.
wonderful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's one of the magical, things about podcasting. We can edit those gaping silences out.
Exactly.
Okay, everybody. It's time to play Correct Me If I'm Wrong. But first, we need to know what kind of noisemakers our panelists are going to be using for challenges. Aurora, what are you using tonight?
I am using a squeaky toy, the Kikui? No, it's a green pig.
Okay,
Yeah.
there we go.
It
Perfect.
sounds like I'm killing it halfway
does.
through.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
squeak.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think
Like
that's
that.
the idea.
Slower?
Yeah, kill it slower. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Just a long, drawn out, relaxed fart. It's just
And Alastair, what are you using here?
It's a cat toy. I brought this from home. I don't have a cat.
Okay,
just wanted
this
to
is
say
just
that as
something you
well.
do to get your own attention.
I prefer not to say it on air.
Got it.
Yeah.
Sounds like a stone cold fetish to me.
And Lee, it looks like you've got some sort of, it's either a horn or a pen.
It looks like a pipe, writes like a pen, makes this sound, which is the sound of asshole white guys. So it sounds like. Listen to that. Yeah, there you go.
That's great.
Okay,
into the
well, that's very
microphone.
obnoxious, Lee. I hope you challenge a lot.
Thank you.
All
Thank you
right.
for that.
Okay, any questions before we start, panelists?
who's keeping time?
Oh, that's Mariana
Oh, right.
Nice.
with her phone. And she'll also, at the sound of the recorder, let's hear it. That's when we know the
Great.
time will be up.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So here we go. We're going to start with Lee.
Yeah.
Lee, you're going to be the first one to speak.
All right, let's do this thing.
All right. Your topic to speak on is the trouble with tribbles. The trouble with tribbles. 60 seconds on the clock, starting now.
The Trouble with Tribbles is one of the original Star Trek series excellent episodes. It featured Klingons, it featured Tribbles.
A challenge, Alastair Forbes.
Excellent is subjective. A lot of people think that's not one of the
Oh,
best
wow.
episodes of the
Wow.
original series.
Right? Yeah.
That's not a cold, hard fact.
I feel like we're going to have to settle this. I don't know if that's a valid challenge or not, but, I'm going to come to the audience to decide.
Okay.
Round of applause if you think that was truly one of the excellent episodes of Star Trek.
Yeah. That's
And
fair.
if you disagree with that statement, a round of applause.
Oh,
Wow.
that's my
Alice.
boys right there.
Okay.
the very definition of minority. That's
Yeah, absolutely. So we are still with Lee Smart.
Yeah.
Trouble with Tribbles.
Okay.
How many seconds left on the clock there? 53, and starting now.
Tribbles were small creatures, mostly comprised of fur, and they were found on this obscure planet somewhere in the Alpha Quadrant. And when they brought them aboard the ship, they also brought them with a load of Quattro Triticale. And it turns out that the Tribbles made their way into the storage bins and began to gorge themselves on Quattro Triticale. It also turns out that they're...
He repeated Quattro Triticale.
That is a correct challenge. Of
fair.
all the words I thought would be repeated tonight, quadrotracheale was not at the top of my list. That is a correct challenge for Alastair. I'm giving you a point.
Nice.
And you are picking up with the Trouble with Tribbles. How many seconds left? 33 seconds left on the clock, starting now.
The Trouble with Tribbles is objectively not one of the best episodes in the original Star Trek series. If you want to talk about the best episodes in the Star Trek series, you have to go to the best captain, Jean-Luc Picard, who objectively, of the 5 different Star Trek captains, is the best one. That is because Picard was bald, and that is where he got his powers from. Just so you know, I'm a huge Star Trek fan, as you may deduce from this. Talking about
Challenge from Aurora Browne.
I would like a clarification, because when you say powers, could you please be really specific about what you mean?
Yes, well, I feel like when your hair doesn't grow, the power of your brain grows in absence of. Somebody. Go ahead.
So what's your challenge?
I think that he's saying powers as if Captain Picard has, superpowers, and I think that what Picard shows us is that he just has his own humanity, and he uses it in the best manner possible in ways that we all could.
But that's what I meant.
Oh, okay.
Got it. I'm going to give it to you, Aurora, not just because of that, but because Alastair has deviated so far off topic.
Yes.
It took less than 3 seconds for him to move away from Tribbles and into a completely different generation.
That means I have to talk about it now, doesn't it?
Correct. How many seconds?
Okay.
1 second.
Oh, wow.
1 second left on the clock. Aurora Browne starting now.
Captain Kirk looked really.
Now, applause!
Oh, nice.
Wow. Okay.
Gold.
Not too bad. That was good. You're in the lead now, Aurora.
Oh, okay.
Felt like if I could have gone for just one more second, that point could have been mine.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it would have been a huge asterisk beside that point. Everyone would have known you're a fraud. Okay.
Yeah, a sellout at least.
Our next speaker, we're starting with you, Aurora.
Okay.
All right, are you ready for this? Your topic is going to be a hobbit's diet.
A
hobbit's diet, 60 seconds on the clock, starting now.
First, I should clarify for those who don't know what hobbits are, although I'm sure most of us here do. Hobbits were a small race of people invented by J.R.R. Tolkien for his Lord of the Rings universe in Middle-earth.
No, I object because you didn't get to the diet. There's too much setup.
Oh.
Not enough topic.
I don't know, Lee.
Come on.
Give her a break.
I was contextualizing the hobbits because in the books, not many people in Middle-earth even know what hobbits are.
I could have contextualized Star Trek by going
okay,
back to Gene
that's
Roddenberry's career as a police officer.
Okay.
Right?
I think Lee is becoming his noisemaker, a white asshole,
Oh!
Lee, I'm going to give it
kidding,
to
I
you
love you.
because we did get into J.R.R. Tolkien's creation of
That's
hobbits,
true.
not so much the diet of hobbits.
Thank
Take
you
it
very much.
away,
So,
Lee.
So I got to continue on that.
So what are we looking at, Mariana?
47.
47 seconds on the clock.
Okay.
A hobbit's diet starting now.
A hobbit's diet consisted mostly of nuts, fruit, and berries. And the berries were often dehydrated and carried in a
Aurora
small
Browne.
sack.
Challenge from Aurora Browne.
Well, I think that you've left out one of the most important parts of their diet, which is mushrooms. They famously love that fungus and will go to great lengths to acquire them. They also love beer. They love cream. They love...
I mean, save it for the minute when you're talking.
Let me
Like,
just...
let's go.
I think, now,
Elven
what did you
bread.
say? You said nuts?
I did.
And?
Fruit.
And?
Berries.
Okay. We're going to check with Google. All right? Okay.
Thank you.
What does a hobbit's diet consist of?
I don't think Google's going to know this.
According to Strange Horizons, already we have seen the hobbits enjoy a variety of fruits, vegetables, and other flora: apples, turnips, carrots, onions, mushrooms, corn, blackberries, and pickles.
I had berries in there.
That's true.
Did we hear nuts?
Yeah.
And what was the other one? Fruits?
Yeah.
Lee, you can keep going.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
All right.
All right. Okay.
Giving you all the
How many,
Wow.
how many
Okay.
seconds?
All right.
How many?
Here.
40 seconds left on the clock. A hobbit's diet starting now.
A hobbit's diet really did consist of a lot of things that were high in energy concentration because they had to do things that were outside of what normal people had to do. They had to find rings and take them to the Mount Doom so that they
There's only one hobbit who had to take a ring into Mount Doom. Not like hobbits in general don't take the ring.
No, I'm sorry. I'm correcting your correction because he wasn't alone. There were two of them.
Damn it!
Right?
Thank you. I knew that.
Wow. All right.
Thank
Okay.
you.
I'm giving Aurora a point for that challenge, Alastair a point for the correct challenge, and Alastair, we're going to pick up where Lee left off. Yep. And how many? 26 seconds. A Hobbit's diet starting now.
The important thing that my wonderful panelists are missing about hobbits' diets is not what they eat, but how many times a day they eat. For we all know hobbits don't just eat one lunch. They always ask, what about second lunch and dinner and lunner and dinner and
That's
dunner.
a challenge from Aurora. A slow dying oink means a challenge from Aurora.
I believe that you mean breakfast and second breakfast, not lunch and second lunch. And dinner doesn't sound real at all.
No. Sounds like something from Cosmopolitan magazine.
Yeah.
I really wish I had any kind of a defense to that, but I definitely do not.
That's a correct challenge from Aurora. How many seconds? 6 seconds.
Wow.
Aurora, once again,
Come on.
6 seconds left on the clock to talk about a Hobbit's diet starting now.
No matter what they eat, hobbits always follow a meal with a nice smoke on their pipe. That is a fact.
Nice.
Wow.
yeah.
He's running away with
Applause!
this. He's running away with this.
Trying to get something well
All
done.
right.
Well done.
I've got to think of a strategy now.
All right.
Yeah.
It is a fact that Aurora is running away with us right now. The current score, Aurora with 5 points, Alastair with 2, and Lee with 1.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. That's wild, right? But Lee, this is your chance to come back.
Okay, here we go.
Because now, Alastair is going to start talking.
Yeah.
We're going to dip into the Star Wars universe now. Alastair, you're going to have 60 seconds to talk about the Max Rebo Band. The Max Rebo Band, 60 seconds
Rebo
on the clock, starting now.
The Max Rebo Bands is 3 words to describe part of the Star Wars universe that is beloved by many of us. For some of us, the Max Rebo Bands is complicated, but for others, find it quite simple to understand. If you're a fan of music or philosophy or trade agreements, Max Rebo Bands might be for you. Or it might not because you don't like this part of the Star Wars universe. The thing about Max Rebo Bands that gets everyone tickled in the morning.
Oh, repetition. Too many times saying Max Rebo Band.
What? You
To
just
stall.
hold
You're
on now.
stalling.
I mean,
He is allowed to say Max Rebo Band because it's the topic.
Oh, but I thought you could only say it once at the beginning.
No,
As
no.
to reiterate the topic.
It's other words you
So I
can't
could say
repeat.
Max Rebo Band consistently?
I mean, I feel
Over
like-
and over again for a minute?
this is a flaw.
There's
in
a
the
hole
game.
in your argument.
To be fair, there did seem to be a few excessive Max Rebo bands.
Come on.
Listen, you can test the limits of this game by saying Max Rebo Band over and over and over again and just see if somebody challenges you.
Oh, I see. All right. That's
But,
fair.
Okay, for now, I'm going to let Alastair keep going. He's been superbly vague so far.
How much time is left?
28 seconds, Alastair, starting now.
What everyone wants to hear is the definition of Max Rebo Bands, which I know my good partner to the left, Lee Smart, well knows. And the thing about the definition of Max Rebo Bands is it's complicated to understand. Max Rebo Bands is, of course, damn it, I
yes.
shouldn't have said
Aurora
complicated
Browne.
again.
It's you definitely. I don't want to pick up this topic because I know even less than you obviously do. But you definitely said it's difficult to understand again.
Yes, I'm finding it difficult to understand.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, that's what I
Correct
thought.
challenge. Am I the only Max Rebo head in this room? Come
It
on.
sounds
Yeah,
like
there
it.
we go.
We got thumbs up over there.
All right. Okay. When this is over, I'm gonna hit you with some hard Max Rebo facts that it's gonna blow your mind. All right. Aurora Browne, it's the
Oh,
correct
no.
challenge. How many? 14
okay. All
seconds.
right.
This is a new territory for you. 14 seconds on the clock, starting now.
There are 2 bands that I know of in Star Wars, and Max Rebo Band is definitely one of them. There's either the band in the cantina, which I think is the cantina band that goes do 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 do. But then there's also the band.
Yeah, Alastair.
That's too flat for what the tune in the Cantina band is. It's a much sharper melody than what. That's correct.
Yes,
that's
okay, sorry, I was off.
It was off by an octave.
Yeah, it was not objectively a fact.
You're right. I
to that
don't have
point.
it. He should finish it out and take some extra time, even.
Okay, all right, Alastair, I'll give you the challenge. I think Aurora is literally ceding the time. So how much do we got?
Oh,
Alastair, 1 second on the clock, starting now.
Max Rebo Band. Max Rebo. Yes!
Which band is the Max Rebo band? Is it the one in Jabba's Palace?
In Jabba's Palace,
okay, all right.
Max Rebo is the little blue dude who looks like an elephant.
Right.
He's playing the keyboard, and the keyboard goes around him, and he's got Cy Snoodles singing the core, the main
Is
vocals.
this the one where they, when they reissued them, there was this heinously long musical
Yes.
number?
Yes.
It
Yes,
was,
they
like, awful,
switched it
right?
out
Yeah.
from just like to yeah.
Wow.
And here's a little fact about Max Rebo that might blow your mind. Did you know that Max Rebo plays the keyboard with his feet?
No.
'Cause those are
Did not
nice.
know
Those
that.
are
Fully
This is something
articulated.
I learned just a year or two ago, that Max Rebo was designed as just having 2 feet and big, long, flappy ears. And it wasn't that he was sitting in his keyboard, he's sitting on a cushion on his keyboard, and he's playing the music with his toes.
Wow.
Fascinating.
I mean, you could tell from my 60 seconds, I did know that fact.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know you were just getting to it or implying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, when you say design, do you mean like by a supernatural being? Because Max Rebo's real, right?
What do you call it? The creature shop.
Oh,
The
yes,
George
Jim
Lucas
Henson's creature
art
shop.
department.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I call an art department. The
Oh,
creature
yeah,
shop.
nice.
Okay, all right. That was the Max Rebo band. We're moving on. Oh, this is going to be good. Lee, we're switching genres here. We're switching intellectual properties.
Okay.
And Lee, I'm going to give you 60 seconds to talk to me about sandworms. Sandworms. 60 seconds on the clock, starting now.
Sandworms are the indigenous species of the planet Dune. They extrude, for lack of a better word, spice, which is one of the most coveted substances in the universe. The House Harkonnen really, really wanted them to have all the spice, so they went to Dune.
Alastair Forbes.
He said really twice?
Yes,
like
he
really,
did.
really.
He did,
Does
yeah.
that count?
The
That was
emphasis.
just for emphasis.
It was good. The emphasis really worked rhetorically, but it cost you.
Oh, shit.
Cost you the
He
game.
can say
maybe.
Max Rebo Band 1,000 times, but I can't say really twice? Really?
Really? It's not on the card.
All right.
Okay, so Alastair, that's a point for a correct challenge. How many seconds?
Get some points.
43 seconds to talk
Okay.
about sandworms, starting now.
Sandworms in the movie Dune, directed by Denis Villeneuve, were depicted quite differently than.
Aurora Browne.
It's Denis Villeneuve.
Damn it. Nicely done. Well
that's
done.
a correct
Wow, well
challenge.
done.
Wow,
Yeah.
that did not last long for Alastair Forbes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds like everyone's very embarrassed for me.
Okay, here we go. We are 36 seconds on the clock to talk about sandworms, starting now.
I just want to point out that the planet in question is actually called Arrakis and referred to as Dune, but its proper name is what I said before. And these sandworms, in fact, yes, are native to this planet. They don't exactly exude the spice. What happens is they die and come into contact with water, and spice is created by a little maker's extinction in their life cycle. I am pausing here, so I can't believe you're not jumping in.
All right.
Alastair Forbes.
Okay, all right.
That's a
pausing. Hesitation.
Oh, wait, which one? Who challenged?
I did.
Okay, Lee. Okay, yeah, Lee. That's where. Oh boy, Lee, you've doubled your score. That's a correct challenge, and you can now pick back up with sandworms.
How much time?
6 seconds, Lee.
I got this.
Starting now.
Sandworms, 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 sandworms. What?
Alastair?
Well, I know he's repeating the thing that's in the topic, so he's allowed to do that. But the way his inflection was repeating is illegal. You can't just repeat it the same way
I don't
over
know.
and
It
over.
sounded like he was really following a
Yeah,
different
I was
path,
making
and they
a
all had different
narrative
intentions.
of the word sandworms. Yeah.
I think Lee needs this, and we should just
Yeah.
let him continue.
Come on.
Okay. All
All
right.
right.
That's
3
fair.
seconds. I can't
All
believe
right.
that was only 3 seconds that you spent saying sandworms, but now you have 3 more seconds.
Sandworms, sandworms, the sandworms, sandworms. Yes.
Applause!
Yay!
Yeah.
Oh, Lee,
It's
that's
called
a point for
strategy.
Lee.
Okay.
Lee Smart gaming the system wherever he goes.
Yep.
All right. Okay, that was good. I thought that maybe sandworms were actually brought to Arrakis from somewhere else.
Ooh, really?
Oh.
But I've made it to book 6. I think that gets
How many
mentioned
books?
later on.
How many books are there? in
Well,
total?
there's 6 written by, that guy,
Frank Herbert.
Herbert?
Frank Herbert,
Yeah.
and then there's about 97 more written by
Wow.
his son.
Couldn't
Yeah.
make it an
Oh,
even
wow.
100, huh?
Not yet.
No.
No,
Okay.
I gave up.
All right.
All right. We are over to Aurora Browne. 60 seconds on the clock. Your topic is going to be the Infinity Gauntlet. The Infinity
wow.
Gauntlet.
Okay.
I want this.
Perhaps you've heard of it. It's a gauntlet. All right. 60 seconds on the clock starting now.
The Infinity Gauntlet is an object in the Marvel Universe. It is a glove that is coveted by Thanos, and it is a collection of the 6 Infinity Stones. Or is it 5?
Yeah. How could it possibly be 6?
Alastair Forbes.
Oh,
it was me. It was me.
Oh,
it was me.
I hear the
I feel
jingles
like-
before I hear the obnoxious blast out.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's-
what is it,
it's-
Lee? Lee, your challenge?
Yeah, I challenge on incorrect information. there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't-
I'm going to challenge Lee on hesitating
On his
on
challenge?
what his challenge is.
I know,
Yes.
yeah.
I felt that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lee, so 5, you're challenging 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Because it's true, there are 6.
There are 6. There's one on the
Okay.
back. Yes.
Okay, so we are continuing on.
Yeah.
46 seconds, Lee. The
not my
Infinity
strategy.
Gauntlet starting now.
The Infinity Gauntlet was a gauntlet that was forged in the heart of a star by a dwarf named Iridril. Iridril made this gauntlet so that he could contain the power of the Infinity Stones, which are actually distilled cosmic forces that were founded at the dawn of time by the ancient gods. They were distilled. The most important of these stones is
Alastair Forbes.
He said distilled.
Yes, he did.
I wanted to know the answer.
I know.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was really impressed with his knowledge,
Well,
and there's nothing I could find fault with.
I was in awe. I was like, I didn't want it to end.
Yeah.
But Alastair made it end. Thank
Oh,
you.
great. Keep going, Alice.
all right.
Take it.
Okay,
yeah.
pick up where I left off.
23 seconds, Alastair. The Infinity Gauntlet starting now.
The Infinity Gauntlet in the Marvel Universe was not worn by other characters like Max Rebo-Band. It is a piece of hardware. Damn it!
Hesitation.
Hesitation is correct, Lee.
Yeah.
I was
Okay.
just so proud of my Max Rebo.
I know. That was a nice
It was a good
callback.
joke.
Folded that in.
All
Nice.
right. 13 seconds,
All right.
Lee, starting now.
The Infinity Gauntlet could be wielded by any character within the Marvel Universe of sufficient power and strength. For instance, Iron Man was able to.
I mean, can't any character not wield that thing?
You sound really unsure of yourself.
No. Any character can wield it. They'll just die from doing it. Right?
Oh.
Well,
That
not
is-
any character, because Thanos didn't die from using it.
Not every character dies from using it, but he said you can only wield it if you have sufficient power.
Well,
but-
what is the definition of wielding?
I mean, putting it on.
No.
You put it on and then just die.
Using.
Yeah, well, you could.
Yeah.
You can.
What
you
happens
put-
afterwards? He wielded it. He used it. He killed. He
Yeah.
reversed everything, and
Right.
then he died.
But who can't put it on in the universe, in the MCU?
Someone who is born without a hand. Privilege. Do I hear it up here? Holy shit.
In the comics, they trick Thanos into taking it off.
Yep.
And then it's lying there, and
Yep.
they think they've won, and then Nebula puts it on.
Nebula.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then they trick her, and she takes it off. It felt like an unnecessary chapter in that story.
Yeah.
Those classic take off the glove plot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
If it doesn't fit.
Okay, so Alastair, I'm going to give you a point for that. That was who challenged what?
What?
It's,
Give him a point.
Yeah, no, I should take that
Oh,
point.
alright.
That's great.
All right.
Yes.
And then I
Fair.
challenged his
is,
again.
yeah, but it's true. Anybody can put it on.
Yeah.
I could put it on.
But I said wield it. Not don it. Don it is a whole different thing. Wielding and donning are two different things.
Okay, hang on a second.
Come on, right? Applause?
What's the
Yeah.
definition of
That's
wield?
a smattering.
Here's the definition of wield, hold, and use a weapon or tool.
Hold
there we
and
go.
use.
Use and use.
Hold and use, not hold.
Yeah, but wait,
Yeah.
can't any character also use it? They'll just die.
I
Like
don't
Tony
know.
doesn't die until he snaps, right? Like
I'm going to give
the
it to
thing.
Alistair
Yeah.
in the interest of
Yeah.
moving this show forward.
All right.
Great.
All right.
Applause.
Applause. All right.
All right.
Yay.
Okay.
That's fair.
How
That's fair.
many? 3 seconds, Alistair.
Wow.
Starting now.
the Infinity Gauntlet has.
Applause.
I was about to say something very clever.
Yeah.
Wow, this is very exciting, everybody. Lee is sitting at 4 points, but Alistair has come back to tie with Aurora. They're at 7 points each.
Wow.
I don't even know how I got 7 points. But I'll take it.
Just skill.
Okay.
Just skill. All right, let me. Okay, let's see what's next here. Oh my God, you guys are gonna love this.
All right.
Who's played Dungeons and Dragons?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Right
Here we
here.
go. Alastair Forbes, you're going to be speaking on the topic of gelatinous cubes,
Wow.
my personal favorite character of all time. All right, 60 seconds on the clock, starting now.
Gelatinous cubes are a character in the Dungeons and Dragons universe. They are known for having an incredibly high armor class, but horrible weapon wielding skills. So if you want to attack a gelatinous cube, you're going to have a real hard time doing any damage to it, but it won't do much damage to you unless it starts using its gelatinous cube magic. And gelatinous cubes magic mostly deals in ooze form. So they'll throw acid, sometimes some gooey liquid at you, and your character will get buried, and then you will get stuck, and you won't be able to do effective attacks. For example, if you're playing a rogue and you're trying to backstab a gelatinous cube, you'll have difficulty because the floor will be so filled with ooze and not water, but thicker than water stuff that I don't want to say
all
over
right,
again.
all right.
Lee Smart,
Hesitation.
extreme hesitation. And repetition.
Extreme.
Probably some factual incorrectness as well, but I mean, it's just,
I don't know. I was impressed. I was learning a lot.
I was
finally
impressed.
I
What
know.
would
It
you
was
say-
mesmerizing. And I'm
Alistair,
this
what-
close to him.
Alistair, what was the percentage of that was completely being made up?
7.
7%.
So
I-
93%.
You know
correct?
some stuff about
Wow.
gelatinous cubes.
No. 7% was correct, I would say.
got
Yeah,
it.
that
All
was,
right,
yeah.
okay.
Just to clarify, yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
All right.
10 Wow, you spoke for 50 seconds about gelatinous cubes.
That's amazing.
A lot of people might have said that was too long for me to speak
Yeah.
on that topic.
I was riveted. I was riveted.
Lee Smart, you've got 10 seconds
I
on the
got this.
clock, starting now.
Gelatinous cubes are both gelatinous and cubic in form. They contain a high degree of pectin, which makes them.
Oh, he got it in. Yes, he got it in. Applause.
Yeah! Lee Smart, right?
Wow, Lee Smart. That's what I'm talking about. What was your challenge going to be, Alistair?
The pectin?
Everybody knows all gels contain a degree of pectin.
Yeah, I'm not sure the gelatinous cubes in the Dungeons and Dragons universe are made from horse hooves.
Look it up.
It's straight jello.
Okay. All right, here we go. We are moving into the third round here. And you know what? Soon what's going to happen is I'm going to run out of prompts, and I'm going to ask the audience to think of some to stump and challenge our panelists.
Nice.
So, and it does not have to be in their area of expertise whatsoever. Please make them work. But for now, Lee Smart, this is a topic you're going
All
to
right,
speak
here we go.
eloquently on and with great knowledge, because I know you. 60 seconds on the clock to speak about the Kobayashi Maru. The Kobayashi Maru, starting now.
The Kobayashi Maru is a famous no-win scenario that all cadets at the Starfleet Academy have to pass in order to graduate. Captain Kirk famously gamed this scenario by going into the computer and changing the parameters of the game so that actually there was a way to win and defeat this famed Kobayashi Maru no-win scenario. I see what you're about to do.
Alastair Forbes.
How famed is this thing? At least twice. It's at least twice famed.
Well, I'm going to argue, Alastair.
No, he repeated famed.
Oh, okay. Got
Yeah,
it.
that's
All right,
how-
I thought you were
that's it.
challenging
All right,
him on
it
the
is
veracity
No,
of
it's
fame.
is
subjectively
famous.
famed.
Yes,
It's
yes.
subjectively
Yeah.
famed, but he repeated fame twice.
All right,
Yeah,
Alastair,
wow.
that's a point for you, and we are at 36 seconds, Alastair, starting now.
The Kobayashi Maru is an incredible moment in the Star Trek universe, eclipsed by moments in Star Trek The Next Generation with the best captain of the Star Trek universe.
Smart.
No. Deviation.
Deviation from the subject. That is correct.
Yes.
You think you've learned the first time, but
Yep.
it is back to you, Lee. We are at 24 seconds to continue on the Kobayashi Maru, starting now.
The Kobayashi Maru was named for a famous 24th century scientist named Kobayashi Maru. Proper name, no lie. He was a man who invented the no-win scenario by going in to the computer and typing in the words no-win scenario. It was...
I don't know, but that just sounds wrong. Your delivery didn't give me confidence in that. I have no actual way to know if that's true or not.
Yeah, Lee, do you want to stand by that or just...
Yeah, I stand by that. I stand by that. I totally stand by that.
We have to bring in Google now.
Yeah.
What you said, who invented the Kobayashi Maru?
It was Kobayashi Maru himself.
Who invented the Kobayashi Maru?
According to Wikipedia, Star Trek II screenwriter Jack B. Sowards developed the Kobayashi Maru, naming it after his former neighbors. Kirk's rejection of the no-win scenario in the film is one of several characterizations that reflected Sowards' own mindset at the time.
This doesn't answer our question.
No.
Oh,
it was Spock.
That's
Okay.
true. Spock wrote it in the new Star Trek.
Wow.
Which is canon now.
Yes. Wow, I learned something.
Yeah, so I'm going to give this to Aurora.
Oh.
Aurora, we are with...
A huge shout out to the gentleman there who
Yeah.
Yes, that's
provided
right.
this fact
Well
for
done.
us. I want to like.
What's your name, sir? What's your name? Rob. Rob knows his Kobayashi Maru facts.
Yes.
All right. 4 seconds, Aurora, to speak about the Kobayashi Maru, starting now.
Captain Kirk demonstrated great.
Alastair Forbes. Alastair Forbes.
Come on.
I'm pretty sure at first you said Captain Kirk dead. And in the universe, he's not dead. I mean, depending on the movie you're watching.
Well, I mean, Generations. He died in Generations. Right?
But he's alive in the new like Star Trek Beyond, Star Trek Into Darkness. Although
Right. Yes. Captain Kirk dead. Also, not really a sentence, but I mean, I think.
No.
But I thought your challenge might be hesitation.
Nope, I'm saying it's inaccurate.
Oh. Oh, jeez.
The character is alive and well in the Star Trek cinema universe.
Can I challenge his challenge because I wasn't saying dead? Wasn't being inaccurate. I literally stumbled on the word demonstrated.
Yeah, that's why I was trying to help him, but he
Nope.
stuck to his guns there.
Wow.
So I'm going to give it back to you, Aurora.
Do I get a point for that correct challenge of his challenge?
Yeah, I'm going to give it to you.
Great. Okay, great.
You only have to ask. That's all you have to do. And we're at 2 seconds, Aurora,
here we go.
starting now.
Captain Kirk demonstrated.
Oh, was I in? Did I get in
I
there?
don't think we made it in.
My
Okay,
sound
that's
make-
another point for Aurora.
I always make it
Wow.
takes too long.
Okay.
Woohoo.
All right. Now, I think I made an easy one for everybody here. Oh yeah, Aurora, you're gonna like this one. This is for you to start with.
Okay.
Fear is the mind killer.
Okay.
Fear is the mind killer. 60 seconds on the clock, starting now.
Fear is the mind killer is the first sentence of the litany of fear. We're going back to Frank Herbert here because this is the Dune universe. The Bene Gesserit have this litany that they say to themselves in moments of high stress, fear, or danger. And Jessica, who is Paul Atreides' mother, the concubine of Leto Atreides, teaches him this as part of his training as a young boy. He says it many times in the movie. She says it. It gets him through so many moments in the adventure that is Dune.
Alastair Forbes.
Hesitation? Right?
I'll give it to you.
fair
I'll give it to you.
Yeah,
There
it
was
a
some
bit of
repetition in
hesitation.
there.
I was
as
just
well.
about
But,
to recite the whole litany, but you take it away and do that.
Hey, listen, you just got to get back in there and recite that that litany. I want
No,
to hear
it was very impressive, I have to say.
Yeah,
that was excellent.
Are like very much proving I knows a lot more about Dune than I do, but we'll find out.
We'll
I guess.
find out right now.
Momentarily,
Because we've got 30 seconds. That's half a minute, Alastair, to talk about the Fear is the Mind Killer.
Okay.
Starting now.
Remember when Timothée Chalamet stuck his hand in that box and then went for like 2 minutes? That's about Fear is the Mind Killer. That's what we're talking about here in that moment. And his mother at the time had taught him, don't let it be the mind killer.
Oh, yeah. Hesitation.
His mother.
Correct challenge from Lee Smart. Lee, Fear is the Mind Killer. With 12 seconds to go. Here we go.
Fear is the Mind Killer is one of the most memorable phrases from Dune, both the movie and the book. The other memorable phrase is that a slow knife penetrates the shield.
Oh, Aurora?
He's going off topic here.
Yeah, he literally did. Okay,
Yeah,
I'll give it to you. I want to hear that litany. 3 seconds on the clock, starting now.
Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that obliterates all else.
Wow.
I will face my fear.
Applause.
Oh, wow. That's,
Yes!
that's huge.
Yeah.
Yes,
Accurate.
well done. You know, I'm going
Accurate.
to give you an extra point for being able to recite the litany against
I
fear.
will let it pass
Wow.
through me, and I will watch where it goes with the inner eye, and where the fear is gone, there will be only me. Something like that.
Oh, wow,
you know,
that's honestly-
If they'd only
Sure,
let me
I'll-
go, I would
Well
Accept it.
done.
Totally the wheels
Well
would've fallen
done.
Can we talk about why Denis Villeneuve did not film both parts together? It makes me so mad.
Yeah.
Like that, we have to wait like 2.5 years for the sequel?
What blows my mind is that they made it without knowing if the second one was going to get greenlit.
But it's so clearly a part one. How did? Oh, man, it makes me so mad. I can't. The movie was so great. I loved it.
Yeah.
Really want to see it. This is on topic.
How about how about everybody listen to us complain about the industry for 60 seconds each?
Yeah, well, you know, it's
there's
just
a
what most
question.
podcasts do. This is unconventional. There's a question in the audience.
Wait a sec. Is this unconventional?
Yeah, we don't take questions on this show.
Oh, okay.
Hey, what's your question?
Chalamet did not have a seizure. In the book, it felt, when he put his hand in the box, it felt like 1,000 needles were piercing him in the hand while his hand was being burnt.
That wasn't even a question.
I have a
quite
question.
true, though.
I have a question. How would you know what 1,000 needles felt like if you've never had
Hey.
1,000 needles sticking
Hey,
you in
in
the
my
hand
house,
before?
the parenting, you know, like
Understood.
Sometimes
Say no
it's
more.
a little bit rough. Sometimes
Child
it's a little
Services
tough.
is coming. Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
Pins and
Pins and
needles.
needles.
That's
Pins and
right.
needles.
Nice.
Okay.
Needles,
Yeah. Okay.
All right, good.
It was great. I've been told. I respect it.
Yep.
Alistair, you're up next to
Oh,
start
great.
speaking. This is going to be a little bit of a. We're going. This could cover many genres. All
Okay.
right? Many topics,
right.
many intellectual properties. And here we go. The topic is prequels. Prequels. 60 seconds on the clock, starting now.
Let me tell you what is wrong with prequels. As soon as you're watching a prequel, you know the main characters aren't going to die, so it removes all the stakes from the prequels. Let's talk about the Star Wars prequels specifically, because those might be the most famous ones. In Attack of the Clones, Hayden Christensen as Anakin Skywalker is introduced immediately as being a whiny asshole. Can I say asshole? He is. But he's introduced immediately
Be
as...
smart.
Asking questions of the host.
Sounds like there's another whiny asshole. And it's my pig.
I'm going to give you a point for that challenge, Lee, although it's not technically within the rules of the game to ask questions of the host.
Okay.
So if there are no other legitimate challenges,
No.
okay. Over to Alistair.
Oh,
You
I'm
said
still going.
asshole.
Okay.
Still going.
Yeah, well, you said asshole twice, but nobody challenged
Yeah,
you.
here we go. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we got 34 seconds on the clock, starting now.
So Hayden Christensen is introduced as a bad guy immediately in the first scene. You hate him right away. And then for the rest of the two movies, you're just like, there's no mystery as to how he turns into Darth Vader. In that first scene, he's just a jerk. And you're like, oh, well, yeah, I guess that answers it. Whereas if they'd introduced him as a character who you immediately loved and who loved Padme, and then
Aurora Browne?
This sounds like a Hayden Christensen apology tour. And I think that's off topic from prequel specifically. In fact, I'd like to know if you can talk about anything besides the Star Wars prequel.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Whoa.
This is a different kind of challenge all of a sudden.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. I would
You
like
did
to...
say
Personal.
that it could go across
Yes.
genres.
I would
Absolutely.
love to answer that question, and the answer is no.
I got to say that's a correct challenge.
Yeah.
Aurora, we've got 11 seconds on the topic of prequels starting now.
Well, let's look at another set of prequel movies, the Hobbit trilogy, which, although the book of the Hobbit was written and published before Lord of the Rings,
Applause!
Well done.
Wow, good job. Yeah, The Hobbit. What other prequels are there?
I was going to say how shitty those movies are too. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, we were just talking about Prometheus. That's another bad one,
Yeah.
right?
That was a
God,
prequel.
yeah.
That's right.
Who's got a good... Well, I mean, listen, I like the Star Wars prequels. I'm wearing a shirt with Jar Jar on it right here. But
Yeah.
shout out a prequel you love. Rogue
Rogue
One.
One.
Okay,
That's a
all
good
right,
prequel.
nice.
Any other prequels?
Rogue One might be the best prequel ever made. Perhaps.
Yeah. Well, I mean, The Godfather Part 2 was half prequel, but, you know.
Yeah,
I know something.
Yeah, all right. Dumb and Dumber was a prequel? Was Dumb and Dumber
Was a prequel.
Oh, that's right. It was...
Yeah.
It was
That's
when
right.
That's
what's his
right.
name went what's his name?
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah,
All right.
okay.
Well, we've settled that.
Young Sheldon is a prequel, I guess.
Yeah.
That's absolutely right, and we
Yes.
can all attest to the quality of that program.
Is Terminator a prequel? Terminator?
Yeah,
Because
it's a
of the
prequel
time
to
travel?
Terminator
Terminator
2.
2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
No, you have to make the movie after the first
Who
one.
says?
But that is just a normal narrative trilogy.
No. It's time travel, so it is actually a prequel, but
What?
it's the first one.
But that's like saying Back to the Future 1 is the prequel to
It
Back to the
is.
Future 2.
It
No,
is.
it has to be made after the time. No.
Depends how you define prequel. If
But-
it happens in the timeline prior, then it's of course a prequel.
All right. Now,
Right? Alistair.
My brain is broken.
I know. We're gonna move on from this because it's starting to hurt to
Contentious
think about.
topic.
That's
Oh,
fair.
really?
Before we move on, I did want to mention that if you make a movie before you make another movie, it's not a prequel. It's just a natural narrative series
It's a progression of
of
time.
chronological order.
Yes.
Yeah.
But even if the events in that movie take place prior to the other one,
yes, that would be a chronological
I mean
order.
subsequently to the other one.
Yes, then it would be a prequel.
I mean prior to.
okay,
I've lost the thread of my own argument now.
It is time now for someone in the audience to shout out a topic of any kind for these panelists to speak on. Anybody got one? Bootstrap paradox.
I like it. All right.
okay.
Okay, this is good. Lee, you're going to start with bootstrap paradox.
All
We
right.
might have to rely on some factual information. We have to come to
Indeed.
you, the new judge and arbiter in this,
Yeah.
since I have no idea what that is.
All right.
Bootstrap paradox. Lee, 60 seconds on the clock, starting now.
The bootstrap paradox was invented in the 24th century by Victor von.
Okay. Alistair.
No, absolutely not. That's absolutely not factual. The bootstrap paradox was a military term. Well, I won't say what it is, but it was invented long ago by regular humans,
Okay. Is that fairly...
non-fictional characters.
Okay, all right. Well, let's. I'm gonna say Lee is patently incorrect. So we don't have to check it. We're just gonna move ahead with Alistair. That's a correct challenge.
All right.
Bootstrap paradox. 55 seconds. Lee, I'm amazed you got that far. 55 seconds on the clock, starting now.
The bootstrap paradox is the idea when someone says to you, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, which is impossible because if you're pulling on your own bootstraps, you can't pick yourself up. And it was used as a facetious term by army grunts to talk about how dumb their superior officers were when they would tell them to work harder by picking yourself up by your bootstraps. But it is now used today incorrectly by people being like, this is how you do it. You put in some elbow grease and pick yourself up by your own bootstraps, not realizing that they're being the target of their own faceticism that they initially... damn it!
Repetition of faceticism and facetious.
That was excellent, Alistair, that you made it that far. But I'm going to give it to Lee for that challenge.
You could literally see my brain like start to devolve as my sentence went on. I was like, I got nowhere else to go with this.
Lee Smart, 19 seconds on the clock, starting now.
The bootstrap paradox refers to bootstraps being neither boots nor straps, hence the paradox.
I just explained what the bootstrap paradox is. That's not what it is.
Are you sure? How do we know you're right?
It's a thing. I don't know. Google it. Yeah, let's ask Google. I'm confident.
You might be wrong.
Okay, well, you know what? Let's ask Google.
Yeah.
Yeah, Google hasn't said much.
I've been
What is
very-
the bootstrap paradox?
According to Wikipedia, a causal loop is a theoretical proposition in which by means of either retrocausality or time travel, an event is
See?
among the
I'm
causes of
right!
the event, which is in turn among the
I
causes
knew it.
I think that's what they're getting at. I
Yeah.
think Alastair is at least more correct than you. Lee.
What?
I'm just going to make that call.
He's
Okay.
talking about a late stage capitalism, kind of strategy to keep the working class down. But I
Yes.
think what this gentleman is talking about is actually a temporal anomaly
Yeah, precisely.
created by time travel, and they're really different things. So Alastair was not correct.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to give the challenge to Aurora.
Right.
All right.
Nice.
But I'm very strong in my conviction.
We have 13 seconds. Aurora Browne, bootstrap paradox starting now.
I think a bootstrap paradox, a good example of that would be going back in time and killing your own grandfather. But then does that mean that it has already happened and that you don't exist? But you do exist and you've gone back and killed him. This kind of paradox of like, can you...
And
wow.
applause.
Oh, it was about to get so good and
Oh,
detailed.
man,
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
great. Good job, Aurora. Fantastic. Anybody else got a challenge? Front row. What's your name, sir? Sebastian. Okay.
Great name.
Yeah, it's a great name. What's your challenge for our panelists?
Hitler didn't make the Autobahn.
Hitler
Wow.
didn't
not?
make the Autobahn.
Yes.
Is that something that is... Did he?
We're
I mean, I guess
talk
we're gonna-
about
We're gonna
Hitler's
find out.
failure to create the Autobahn. That's the subject that we're gonna make. We're gonna talk about.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, Aurora, I'm going to give this to you to start. Hitler did not make the Autobahn.
By the way, that's my son. Everybody.
Uh-huh,
Say
yeah.
that.
Big hand for Sebastian, everybody.
Yeah, there it is. Applause.
Okay, Aurora, 60 seconds on the clock, starting now.
Okay. Well, obviously, Hitler could not have been around to build the Autobahn because he committed suicide at the end of World War II, and the Autobahn didn't come in until considerably later. Yeah.
Lee Smart.
Hesitation?
Hesitation
Yeah.
is correct. I don't know what else there is to say on the topic, but
Yeah,
you're
I know.
absolutely right. How many more seconds? 48 seconds,
Oh,
Lee.
wow.
Hitler did not make the Autobahn, starting now.
Hitler did not make the Autobahn as we know it, but he did design the prototype for the Autobahn in 1914.
Alastair Forbes?
I feels like that can't possibly be right. In 1914, before he'd even started taking power in the 20s, he was already like, when I do take power, I'll create a highway with no speed limit.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem...
It seems factually incorrect.
In fact, I mean, were they using cars back then? Even?
Of course.
Okay, all right. I don't want to. Yeah, you're right. Ford Model T. Sorry, I shouldn't.
Yeah.
I'm not playing this game. Okay. Yes, Alastair. We have
right.
38 seconds on the clock, starting now.
Hitler did not create the Autobahn, but he tried to by telling his workers to pick themselves up by their bootstraps, which is the correct term for the bootstrap paradox. And if you...
Lee Smart.
Yeah, hesitation. again.
Hesitation.
Hesitation.
Back to Lee Smart. 23 seconds on the clock, starting now.
Hitler did not create the Autobahn, but he did create the Bahn Otto, which was a small prototype that looked like a car but was powered with the blood of zombies.
I just want to see where this goes. Like, I'm
Hitler
not gonna
was
judge.
known for his dabbling in the occult arts. He would often transcribe a pentangle when he entered a room.
Transcribe?
Squat down on his haunches, yes. Yeah.
Applause. Oh, man. And I
Wait,
think...
so he'd enter a room and transcribe a pen...
He would bring in a pentangle on a piece of paper and
I'm
he would
sorry.
transcribe
Did you
it.
say a pentangle?
Pentangle.
Pentangle?
Pentangle.
Isn't it a pentacle?
Pentacle.
well, it's a pentagram, isn't it?
no.
Pentangle. A 5-angle.
Okay, does anyone know what Hitler would draw when he entered a room? A
Oh,
swastika.
yeah.
Probably a
Thank
swastika
you
there.
very much.
Probably
Yes.
Yes.
true.
Yeah.
Right before in front of us. Well, I think that brings an end to this competition. Before I deliver the final scores, does anybody here on our panel have something to tell our listeners and viewers to go and watch or listen to? Lee Smart, do you have anything to plug or advertise?
Man, I say go back to Apple Podcasts and dig into the archives for the Illusionoid Podcast. It's 150 episodes of sci-fi mayhem improvised and produced with sound effects and music. So it's a good time.
The Illusionoid Podcast. Alastair Forbes.
My wife and I have started an Instagram account for our tiny dog called @KorgInfluencer, and it currently has 120 or so followers, and we're trying to get that up to 300,000 or 400,000 to hopefully retire. So yeah, go follow and donate.
Okay, Korg Influencer on Instagram, and your dog's name is
Valkyrie. After, of course, the king of Asgard currently.
King of Asgard. Yeah. Okay, Aurora Browne. Anything you'd like to pitch?
It's so funny because I was actually going to recommend Alastair's OnlyFans account, which is Valkyrie and me, and
It's
a fun time.
It's spicy for sure. Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. You'll never be able to unsee the things on my OnlyFans account.
And you can check out my podcast, The Dubious Book of Famous Deeds. It's a history podcast, all based on a British book from 1898 that I found in an alleyway. It's on the Sonar Network, and there's lots of cool, great podcasts there. So check those out. Okay, here's the final score.
All right.
Oh, boy.
We've got Alastair Forbes with 12 points.
Yes.
Lee Smart with 12 points.
Whoa!
And Aurora Browne with 16 points.
Applause indeed.
Yes.
Well done.
Yeah!
Thank you, Aurora, Alastair, and Lee for playing the game. Thank you, Chuck. At the sound table. Thanks, Mariana and the Sonar Network. Thanks, Sebastian and Rob. And what was your name, sir? Darius. And a huge round of applause for Megan for supplying our scorekeeping instruments, a pen and a tiny cue card.
This would have become a knife fight without that.
Yes, that's right. This has been, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm Paul Bates. See you later.
Bye.
Yes. Check. Does anybody, before you go, if anybody's got a lead on where to get the best mystery boxes, come let me know, because I owe my son one.
Amazing.
That was so much fun, guys. Oh, you guys did great. Oh, yeah. It was Autobot.
Let's not mess
So
around.
funny.
Yeah, the audience was clamoring for a Hitler talk.
Sure.